Pokemon Sword and Shield is finally here. We have it, we beat it, and now let's make sense of it all.
Take that.
What's up, everybody? This is Nerds Make Sense, and I'm Ted, and I'm with.
I'm Josh.
Manual.
So, real quick before we get on with the rest of this episode, I wanted to do a quick little shout out. Something really special happened earlier this week. So, right now we are on December the 7th, Saturday, December the 7th, recording this episode. Earlier this week, on, I believe it was December 3rd, it was Tuesday. I guess they call it, what do they call it? Giving Tuesday or something like that?
Yeah.
Now, anyways, there was a really, really special live stream going on that was being put on by MatPat and the game film theorist crew. And they were doing a charity live stream for St. Jude's Children Research Hospital, which is a really good organization to begin with. I mean, they're amazing with what they do. For anybody who doesn't know, St. Jude is basically, it's the leading researcher and curer of childhood cancer. And what they do is basically, when you get accepted into St. Jude, you pay nothing. And I mean absolutely nothing. You don't pay medical bills. They give you housing for your family. They basically, they keep you up with your schooling. They get in touch with whatever, they get your curriculum from your school to make sure that you don't lose out on anything. And you don't pay for any of their services, which is truly amazing in this day and age. Mm-hmm. And the thing, too, that I recently found out that I wasn't even aware of, that once you're a St. Jude patient, you are a St. Jude patient for life. So if you go to St. Jude, your cancer goes into remission, and later on, 10, 15 years down the road, it comes back. You go back to St. Jude, they treat you once again, no cost whatsoever. So they are purely amazing. And of course, the theorist, this past Tuesday, they did a charity live stream to raise as much money as they could. Their original goal was $500,000. And then they also reached out to Scott Cawthon, who created the Five Nights at Freddy franchise, mm-hmm. to kind of help them out. And he ended up making a game, a brand new kind of Five Nights at Freddy game, that he basically embedded with a grand total of $500,000. That as you play through the game, basically instead of points, you get dollar amounts, and whatever you get, whatever they got within the time limit, the time limit of the live stream was how much he would donate to the cause. And I just want to give a really, really, really huge shout out for the amazing thing they did, because they raised over $1.3 million for the cause of St. Jude. And I was watching the whole live stream. I was a little bit behind, but when that final total came up, when they started to get close to the end, and I saw how much they were raising, unfortunately I wasn't able to give anything at the time, but it completely kind of overwhelmed me. Mm-hmm. That so many people stepped up and did so much, and that's going to go to help so many kids who are suffering from this absolutely horrid disease, because I know my family has been affected by the tragedies of cancer. Manuel, I don't know about your family. I'm Ted. I know.
Yeah, same with me.
Your family's been affected by it. Well, our family, mm-hmm. basically. Of course, Manuel's part of our family now too.
Oh yeah.
But so it was a little bit personal to me. Plus, seeing kids having to go through such a terrible thing like cancer is just, it's heart wrenching. Mm-hmm. So to see so many people giving and raising so much for such an amazing cause was absolutely beautiful. And MatPat, Steph, to the entire game theory, film theory crew, Markiplier, everybody else who participated in the live stream. You guys are absolutely amazing for what you did. I don't know if you're ever going to hear this. I hope you do. And I just want you to know we here at our channel appreciate everything you have done. Mm-hmm. You are one of the biggest inspirations for this channel to begin with. You know, game theory and film theory is one of the biggest reasons we are doing this to start with. It basically showed that, anything can be done. And this live stream showed that the gaming community is not as negative as people put it out to be. And it's just, like I said, it was absolutely beautiful to see so many people come together raising so much money for a beautiful cause. And so with that, I'm going to give it back over to Ted to get us really going with this episode.
Right.
Back to Pokemon.
Yeah, back to Pokemon. Congratulations for what they did and everything. I got to go see that because I missed that ending part. So I got to see that part you're talking about. I love when things like that happen.
Oh, yeah, and they broke up, the Game 3 channel broke up the FNAF part where it's just them, Markiplier, and Daco playing the game to try and earn as much money as possible.
Oh, that's fresh. Right. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield, like I said, Manuel got to enjoy it. We got him a Switch. He got to play Pokemon.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, they put it everywhere.
Yeah,
we have it on everything.
I think it's on our Twitter. It's on our it's on Ted's Facebook.
It's on the Instagram.
It's on it. Yeah.
So he was able to enjoy it. And so, how do we want to break this up instead of talking? So, do we want to just talk about overall experience with it, and then go into story? And go into
yeah,
Pokemon?
I think so. Because
I think are we reviewing this, or is it just like a general?
Yeah, we could just go over. Yeah, could we just go over how we feel about it? So I guess you want to review it.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot of controversy on it.
Yeah. So we can talk about we can talk about how we feel about the game in particular, and then break that apart into story, new Pokemon, and then just the overall game experience. I would say.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about the controversy at the end, and whether or not we agree with what people thought, because there's a lot of speculation about how people would feel when they actually played the game, and people already had negative opinions.
Yeah. So the story.
Yeah. So who wants to go first?
I'll go. I got this.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, so the story was pretty standard, honestly. It the characters weren't super well thought out. I didn't think. I liked Bede. I mean, I hate Bede. Personally.
But you love to hate him.
But as a character, he was pretty interesting. Hop I just didn't like. I just didn't enjoy him at all. It didn't feel like he actually grew at all. There was a moment where I felt oh, maybe he's finally gonna develop as a character. And then he just kind of didn't. He had an issue where he was oh, I just want to be as good as you and my brother, and then he got all depressed for 5 seconds, and then it was just done.
It was kind of, in my opinion, it was kind of standard rival story.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I liked. Let's see, my favorite rival story was the honestly probably Gold and Silver's rival.
Yeah, that would be mine too.
He was a freaking scoundrel and a villain. He stole a Pokemon. And he would shit talk you every 5 minutes. He was like, "What's up? You suck. It doesn't matter that you beat me. You still suck."
Yeah.
And then they all got kind of chiller as we went, because Gary was kind of just a little bit of a douche, and then Gold and Silver was a fucking criminal asshole, and then we got Wally and Brendan in the third one, and that's when we kind of started a trend of having two rivals, a pseudo rival, and then they were both just kind of there, because Wally kind of sucked too, but at least he knew he sucked. He was like, "Oh, I'm just trying my best. I'm just doing whatever, you know."
And besides Dawn, though, in Pearl and Diamond, who
Barry.
else?
Barry.
Yeah.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah, Barry was
the white, the blonde haired kid.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Pearl.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was cool. He had he was kind of chipper, and he was he liked to challenge you, but he wasn't over enthusiastic. He was just like, he was just ready. He was just going. And then what was it? Black and white. There was 4 of them because there's like, the 2 in black and white and then 2 in black and white too.
Yeah.
And then. And then that one that you guys just started off as friends already in black and white too.
You were friends starting your journey, yeah.
Yeah, you were like, oh, here we go. We're already friends, taking our first step. Let's go. And that was kind of interesting. And then it just kept going that they're really just soft rivals.
X and Y, you had a whole team of rivals.
Dude, I hate those guys. Those are so annoying.
That was weird. And then the gym. The most interesting part of the story was the gym challenge. Because it's still gyms, and they're like they still called them gyms.
Yeah.
And then they kind of added the little bit of the sun and moon island thing to it.
Yeah.
And so it's still gym battles. You're still battling, but there's like this thing that you're doing, and it's not too different from like what some of the gyms were in like the older games. Because like there was the ice one where you had to like not fall through the ice, and we did that already before. There was that freaking ghost one that irritated the hell out of me, just because like I didn't realize you had to spin it. I thought you just had to like push it.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, why isn't it like? Why am I? And then I was like trying to flip my controller. I'm like, what am I doing? And I finally figured it out. I'm like, oh.
And then of course you guys both played Shield, but I played Sword. So we each had a different gym.
Oh yeah, I forget about the.
So one of our gyms was different than the other.
Yeah. So you didn't do the ghost one.
Yeah.
So I was. Well, I remember doing the spinning one.
Did you?
That's the thing.
They're the same thing, but two different gyms.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so mine was the fighting type
yours
gym.
was fighting, and you had rock, fighting and rock, and we had ice and ghost.
Ghost, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That ice lady.
Yeah, that's right. I always thought that was weird that you went to a town covered in snow, and then it was a rock gym leader. Like
I didn't know he was a thing until like probably like last week, honestly. And I was because I watched the playthroughs of everybody on YouTube, and I was at work and I was watching it, and he was fighting him. I was like, "Who the heck is that?" I was like, okay.
Honestly, so like, where when you went to the old town, you had to fight the fighting type lady?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird because they fit so well thematically in Shield.
I mean, I didn't have any issue with it. I mean, the only issue I had was, I mean, he still used, dual typing. Some of them had ice.
Yeah.
But there was the rock typing, and it was the rock badge or whatever.
Well, that's his mom though, isn't it? So your guy, the rock.
No, mine was a dude.
Yeah, your guy, your gym leader, was the son to our gym leader.
Oh, okay.
So, I think.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes. I just read it literally right now.
Oh, that's cool.
It says stop looking at my mom.
And then
Pokemon Multiverse.
Yeah, and then all of the I don't know, the legendary stuff kind of didn't matter. Like you meet the legendary in the beginning, and then
but you can't even capture it until after you beat the game.
Yeah. And then I don't know. That's just the story of like the Darkest Day. It didn't feel like it really mattered. I was like.
Yeah, you know what? It did feel like that whole. It felt like a subplot that never happened.
Yeah, and like I'm hoping like it's probably gonna get, like when we get like Pokemon Gun or whatever, it's probably gonna be like way more thought out and stuff. Because that's kind of how it was in like Ruby and Sapphire. I remember like the subplot of the ancient whatever Kyogre and Groudon didn't really accomplish much, but in like Emerald like it really like they took it to another level, and like you were dealing with it for a bit before it was like all over, and it actually felt like there were stakes, because in this one you just like, oh, he did a thing, you go there, you beat him, and it's just done, it's over. It really did feel like it didn't matter at all to the story. A lot of the game felt just way too simplified. Like they plotted out the course of what would happen in a Pokemon game or a story, and they're like, here's the points, just do it.
Well, a lot of people were speculating that Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were going to be like the test bed for the next generation of Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And I think that was true, but I think this was like the true kind of test bed of where can we go from here? How much can we do?
Yeah.
You know, and I think so. The next one, I would imagine that this game wasn't terrible. The next games will be so much better, hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, and what I was thinking too, because I was thinking about it a lot. I still enjoyed the game. Like, even though it felt really basic, like a lot of the story.
It still was, the overarching gameplay was satisfying.
I mean, because even though it was easy, because like it was hella easy.
I'm a little ashamed of myself because I lost to Leon the first time.
Oh
I didn't lose at all in this game.
It was the only time I ever lost throughout the entire game.
I didn't lose any battle.
And we were both down to our final Pokemon, and it was only because I didn't strategize it properly.
I got all the way to the Elite Four champion, whatever the shit that is, before one of my Pokemon even fainted. None of my things died until then. I was like, I'm a failure.
I lost, I think, like 3 Pokemon. I didn't lose. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't lose.
Well, like I said, that was the only battle I ever lost. I didn't even lose to, Eternius was tough.
Dude, that was so long. I don't know why.
And the battle took forever because it felt like no matter what you threw out there, it always had some kind of counter for whatever Pokemon.
Yeah.
If you threw a dragon type, it hit you with its massively powerful dragon move. You threw out a fire type, it hit you with a rock move. Yeah. And I was like,
I don't know what I did. I threw out Glade, and Glade just fucking killed this man.
Yeah, because he's not fairy. Never mind.
He's fighting. He was fighting Psychic, and I was just freaking like Psycho Cut.
And see, by the time
double crit.
I had my Rapidash with me, but it was so underpowered compared to everything else I had, because of course, Ponyta is not in Sword, so I had to get it through trade, and I got it from Ted, and I got it late. So I was trying. Not that I'm blaming anybody. It's just it was there on my team. It wasn't as powered up, so it's like I don't really want to use it because it's gonna die in one hit.
Well, like the thing is too, like so. My issue is that they made raids like easily available from the very fucking start. Not only easily available, but like it puts you in one end of the wild area, and it's like go through the wild area to get to where you need to go, and you're like, of course you're gonna go to the raids because there's these freaking red lights in the sky.
Yeah.
And so when you once you do like a few raids, your Pokemon are already way stronger than they need to be because the EXP candies.
Right? Yeah, the EXP candies.
Even though they're the small ones,
so helpful.
And so, like, I
got a bunch of large ones.
I did a bunch of raids. Well, you don't get the large ones until I got a bunch of small ones because I did raids before going to the first gym. I just did a bunch of freaking raids.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was
so cool. I was having so much fun because it gave you TMs. It gave you Pokemon that weren't just walking around everywhere.
I believe they're called TRs.
Oh yeah, TMs and TRs. Yeah, and just
because you can only it kind of takes from the old TMs. You can only use them once, and then they break.
They're like technical records.
But you still have the actual TMs where you can use them as many times as you want. Mm-hmm. But of course, they've just completely done away with HMs now.
Yeah, good, because they suck. Because they weren't really necessary. Like, because they were just roadblocks. They were like, get the badge that you need to use this HM. Use that HM to get to the next town. And it just wasn't necessary. There was just so many easier ways to go about it. Because, like, you didn't really need to make roadblocks to get from one place to another. Besides just like walking through it, because like because once you get past that roadblock, getting there and back, you didn't need that HM anymore because you just had Fly.
Yeah. Fly
was the only HM that really mattered. If that and Surf, I guess.
Yeah.
And so once you got to an area, you could just fly everywhere. And they're like, "Fuck, you don't even need the HM Fly anymore. Just fly. Just you have people that do it." I'm like, "Fucking thank you, finally."
Yeah. And I forget where I saw it. It might have been one of you guys that posted it. But it was like it was almost like it was a meme about how in today's Pokemon you have somebody to heal up your Pokemon before you enter like the big tunnel area, and then you have somebody to heal your Pokemon right when you come out. Whereas in some of the older games, you didn't have that, and then you had a guy to, your team was all beaten to hell. By the time you got out the other end, and then all of a sudden there's somebody out there waiting for you when you got out.
It was Gold and Silver. They had a fucking dude with like 4 fucking like golems and shit right outside of that first cave. He's like, "Here, I'm gonna fuck you up." I'm like, "Bro, my team is dead." Like everybody's healing you. The researchers constantly handing you max revives and full restores and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I don't even need this.
Yeah, I'm barely using them right now, but I'm at the doing the wild area stuff.
And so my thought was like they really did like trivialize the game and casual it. Like they really leveled it down. Like, and I understand why, because they're constantly trying to get new kids into Pokemon, and that
Right.
they're constantly trying to revitalize it. Like it doesn't need to, but like
And of course, with the attention span of kids today, you
Yeah.
got to have something that's going to keep them going the whole time.
yeah, and so like it's not like a bad thing necessarily, because like I said, I still did enjoy it. I still did have fun. Raids,
Oh, yeah.
the raids were cool. You know, just going through and seeing all the new Pokemon was cool. Just the way it was done was cool, because there was a lot of quality of life improvements as well that made like things that would have been tedious not at all tedious. So I just did it because it was easy. Like it just felt naturally like I could move and go where I wanted.
Personally, one of the things that I loved the most was towards the end of the game, and that's after you beat all of the gym leaders, you have the tournament
Yeah.
to fight the champion. That's something, and you can even ask Ted, that's basically something I've been asking for years now.
Yeah, it's like the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool. I honestly did think that was cool.
I just wish they had expanded it a little more.
Yeah. Cause like when at the end of Sun and Moon, when they just made an Elite Four and like you just fought some of the same people because they're like, oh, I'm this Elite Four now. I'm like, well, why does it have to be you? Like, why can't it be like one of the other ones?
And all of a sudden, the professor's the one you got to beat for the championship or something like
Like,
that.
what?
Yeah, like it was him, and then you'll get like random people. Like you'll get How again. You'll get on Sun and Moon. You'll get How and whatnot. Then you got that guy Yokuji, or the guy who's in all red. He's like
The Fire Dark type guy?
yeah,
Or
like,
Fire Ghost or whatever it was?
yeah, I don't know
With
what
the
it is.
Marowak?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you'll get that guy who wanted to have an original Pokemon gym in Sun and Moon. He was teased in like the first Sun and Moon, but he was like you battle him in Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
You get a fake gym badge. I forgot his name too, but he looks like a rocker dude.
Yeah.
And then
I
you go
remember him.
against like a little kid too, a preschooler, which I thought was funny. And then you go against like his name is Youngster Joey too, which was funny. So it was pretty cool. You're basically the title defender.
Yeah.
And yeah, and everyone just came to you. But in Sun and Moon, that was like, the theory of that is that you were the rival and Hal was like the main character, because like Hal always challenged you, or like you always challenged Hal or whatever, and then like you always beat him.
Because that's what it feels like right now. Like, because in the main game, I remember Gary coming up and he's just like, yeah, I just fucked everything up. You know, like I just fucking kicked their ass. I'm gonna kick this guy's ass. You know, like whatever. Like he's just going around kicking ass. And then like in this game, it's like, fucking Hop is like, oh fuck, he's kicking my ass. What am I gonna do? Oh, you're here. Help me.
Yeah. One thing that I was pleasantly surprised was Team Yell was not as stupid as I thought it was going to be.
They're pretty. Their whole little thing they had. I mean, I had no.
It
problem
actually
with them.
made sense.
I didn't.
That was one of the more interesting story points. I thought.
in their leader.
I mean, it wasn't huge, and it seems like the whole the evil team or whatever it is has kind of taken a backseat over the last couple of generations, because
It's been like one singular person. That's what it's been. Like
Yeah.
Lusamine was like.
Yeah,
Team Skull was like supposedly the bad guys, and then like Lusamine was like the bad person.
Because what was the Because I don't remember if I played X and Y like fully. Who ended up being like the bad guy?
Lysander.
Yeah.
Lysander.
And he ordered Team Flare.
Yep.
Okay.
That was the last villain team, and then like.
Yeah, that was the last villain team with a purpose. It felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Team Skull, like you said, they really weren't the bad guys,
I love Team Skull.
Yeah, I love Team
but they
Skull.
really didn't have a purpose.
Yes.
You know, they weren't trying to take over the world. They weren't trying to steal people's Pokemon.
And that felt a little more realistic just in the world. You know what I mean? Like because they're just a gang. And it's like whatever, they're just doing their thing. Like of course they're probably criminals. They're not up to any good, but like they're not like monsters. And I'm like, oh, they're fucking evil. I hate them. I need to eradicate them. And they're like, no, there they are, rapping at the Mantine, dancing at him, causing a ruckus. But you know, like otherwise they're not really doing any much.
Yeah.
And then Team Yell was kind of the same. They're just kind of like, you know, and then like they also were just a little endearing. Like they weren't doing like too bad.
You know what they were, you know, the whole thing behind what they were doing, you know, obviously they were trying to help Marnie get to and become the new champion. Mm-hmm. So you know, they were doing, I guess you could kind of say a good thing, but in a bad way, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically for
they
the
were
wrong.
They were just misguided.
They were doing it for the right reasons, but they were doing it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So, my turn.
I mean, you got anything else?
Yeah, dude. How I like the game.
How you
So,
like it?
Dude, so I really like this game. I mean,
Well, we know that.
yeah, I really like this game. And
Sorry, I'm a little sassy today.
There's a bunch of stuff that bother me. I'll get to later, but I really like this game because like it felt like playing the old school games for the first time. It's like when I first played Red and Blue for the first time. There's just a bunch of new Pokemon, and like I mean, I seen them all, but But when you see them in game, it's completely different.
Yeah, it did kind of feel like they were almost restarting in a way.
Yeah, because all of them were like, because everyone talks about designs of Pokemon ever since forever, but like these Pokemon were like I think they're like uniquely designed. I really like them. Like I don't look at one and be like, oh dude, that looks stupid. Like, there's only like probably like 4 Pokemon I've ever said that to.
And you know what? You know, a lot of people were worried about how Inteleon was going to look. It wasn't as bad. It didn't look as bad
Bro,
in the game.
what did I tell you, man? That dude has 400 something speed. Do not fucking speak about that. I don't want to hear anyone. And he's just fucking crit sniping, hidden ability to snipe.
I mean, his one of his basic moves is a finger water gun at somebody.
And then
it just kills you.
And that crits.
Well, you would know he was your Pokemon.
And his ability is his hidden ability is sniper, so that's an even double crit. So I'm just like, dude, I want to hear shit about Inteleon.
He's crazy.
But yeah, so the starters are pretty good. I really liked what I really liked is that the gym leaders, because the first 3 had like when you first 3 was the grass, water, and then the fire guy. The fire guy's from Hoenn. I don't know if you guys know that.
Which one?
The fire guy.
Was he really?
He's from Hoenn. It says on the back of his card. He's from Hoenn.
Okay.
He couldn't do it.
I never read the back of the cards.
Yeah, I did it by accident. So so he's from Hoenn. He's from Hoenn. He couldn't like beat everything over there. Supposedly, don't quote me on it. Like he couldn't beat the league, so he came over here, and he had troubles. And then he finally started fighting the opposite. Like when you first find him, he's fighting water Pokemon in the cave. Remember? Because he's trying to strengthen his Pokemon. But it was cool because those 3 like didn't have like a friendship, but like they all talked about each other each time you fought him.
Yeah.
Not after or before. Like he's like, oh yeah, you know what? Like the next one.
It kind of felt like that whole plot line was like self-contained.
Yeah.
In a way.
And then when you beat them, like all 3 of them like come meet you before you go to the next part.
Yeah.
And then you go to the next part, and then you go to the next gym leaders and whatnot, and the story takes place. But I really liked how all the gym leaders to me are really really cool. Like, my favorite one is probably the fairy gym leader.
Yeah.
Because you read her card, her mom was the gym leader of that place, of her gym a long time ago, and she's been the gym leader ever since. And then when you meet her, she's like, oh dude, like I've been here forever. Like
I'm trying to leave.
Yeah.
She was like, I already know who I want. It was like, could it be you? Let's find out. But it's not. Then it ended up being Bede, which is like, when I was already thinking it like before she said it, and then when he popped up, I was like, oh okay, it's him. And then she was like, oh, that's what I like. And she just
You're freaking pink.
And she she
all
took,
because he's wearing a huge pink jacket.
Yeah, and
he was pink because he was using psychic types.
Yeah.
And then when you battle him after he becomes gym leader,
he basically goes psychic fairy on almost everything.
Yeah, he does.
So yeah, and then so I really liked her. I really liked the bug guy because the bug guy, I could forget. I don't know.
The bug guy.
The fire guy. My bad. Because he had the sense of scorch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so in the gym, like you guys said, the gym little challenges they had, like catching Pokemon.
I hated knocking out his Arcanine.
Oh, that was easy.
No, I mean, not that it was hard. Yeah. It's just it hurt my heart.
No, I'm saying
it hurt my heart.
Like, goodbye. But yeah,
it was easy for me. It was like, bam.
Yeah, so I like the gym leaders. They were all really cool. The only thing I'll take away from the gym leaders is that, like a negative standpoint, is that some didn't really have like the story. Like I feel like every gym leader should have had like some kind of interaction / story or something like Opal, which I think that's her name.
That's the fairy type.
Yeah, because like it was like, okay, we got the big buff little boy head kid with the grass trainer, and then we got the water trainer, and then we got the fire guy, and they salute you off to the next part, because they're like, all right,
because you also see him a little bit beforehand. Like
Yeah.
the water one, you have to go find her. She's like just chilling by the lighthouse. And like I thought that was interesting. Like you had interaction with the gym leaders outside of the gym, which they've done like sometimes in some of the games. Like,
And you know what? That whole thing where you have to go find her at the lighthouse might have actually been a little bit of a callback to Gen 2.
yeah,
Or even Gen 1 when you had to go to Bill's. Oh yeah, Gen 2. Or was it?
It was Gen 2 when you had to go
Find
save
Misty.
the Ampharos
yeah. You
Or-
gotta get
or-
that
in the
medicine.
lighthouse.
I'm thinking about when you had to go find Misty. I think it was.
I don't remember ever having to find Misty.
Yeah, in Gen 2 when you went back to Kanto and she wasn't at your gym and you had to go
Oh.
through the
Yeah.
path again. And you
Yeah, I
had
don't
to-
remember the going back to
Yeah,
Kanto
and you had
part.
to,
Yeah, I do.
and you had to go. It's not a
Okay.
lighthouse, but you had to find her and she was on a date and she got mad at you because he ran away
Oh,
and then you had to battle her.
poor
But,
Ash.
but yeah, but like for instance, like the snow girl, the snow gym leader.
Yeah.
I felt like that was just so underwhelming because when I seen
Yeah.
her, because like there was nothing like to it. It's just like that's another thing that I don't really like about the game. But I'm just gonna give it slack because it's like I feel like they didn't know what to do. I don't think they really wanted to be full story 24/7 because I think that's what the people were upset about in Sun and Moon because everything had a cutscene, everything was handheld. It was like story. Like you really didn't get to run around
Yeah.
a lot on your own like you could do.
They
in this
need
game.
to find a more balanced way of doing it in the
Yeah.
next game.
They should instead of sucking you up into like a cutscene in the story, they should ask you before you was like, oh, we're gonna fight the gym leader. Do you want to do this right now? And you could be like, no. It's like, all right, come back and see me when you're ready.
Yeah.
And then you could just go run around and do whatever you want, not just suck me into somewhere and I have to do
Or
it.
or what they could do is they can have like those big, a large number of cutscenes, but still have like, I love the introduction of the wild areas.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea. I think they need to expand on it
yeah,
in the next game. And then what they could do is, they have these bigger areas. Maybe you have wild areas that you have to get through to get to the next part of the story, like they did in this one, but make them just so expansive that you sit there and you have a way to level up your Pokemon on your way to the next city or gym or whatever. But also maybe, you could have some story elements in the wild area too, but just like you have a lot of cutscenes, but you also have those big massive areas where you can just sit there and run around and do whatever the hell you want
Honestly,
for like half an hour, 2 hours, whatever.
that's what I thought they were gonna do when they talked about the wild area 1st. And like I looked at the map and I kind of thought the wild area was just gonna be this big center of the whole map. And
I thought it was
and
going to be
and then-
more broken up areas.
And then I thought it was gonna be like just on all sides of you was another town that you'd have to go to, and you would be able to
it's
go
like-
to the specific town that was next until you had like gone in the order. I thought it was gonna be like Hyrule Field in Zelda, where it's like just a big field, and like I start over here, go through, I'm up here, then I go out of there, I go over here, and now I'm in Zora's Domain, and now I'm at the Death Mountain, and now I'm at the desert, and I would just be going through it all the time.
yeah, because it's like mostly built over it.
Yeah.
Because the daycare is built over it and you look down at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to the gym leaders. Like I feel like for like the snow girl, I feel bad because I don't know her name. Sorry, but
I don't remember the guys.
Wasn't it Aurora?
I don't remember.
Was it not Aurora?
I don't remember.
I'm probably fucking.
But there's the ice gym leader, and it's just like at that point it was just like you just got done doing a story thing, and they're like, all right, go to the next gym. So you go to the next gym, you go to the town, and I mean, I guess there was story stuff there. That's when you go to the little spa thing and find out about more about the Sword and Shield thing.
But it didn't involve her.
Yeah, it didn't involve her. But and then when I seen her, I was like, oh my goodness! I was like, dude, she looks good. I was like, why? I was like, how come that this is the one that didn't get like anything?
It's because the only other one that didn't get like a story spotlight was the ghost guy.
Oh, maybe that's why.
It's because they're both the interchangeable, so they couldn't give him like any key.
I mean,
dialogue.
Could they not have or could they?
I'm sure they
They
could
could
have,
have,
but
like,
they
honestly.
felt like they couldn't.
To make the game a little bit more diverse, like they could have just gave him like something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like I feel like just a little bit introduction to like who they were, because like I feel like other ones did.
I
and
thought
that's
the
something
Ghost
they did.
Boy was one of the coolest ones.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of him, that gym battle scared me because I didn't know Gengar had a Gigantamax. Okay, all right. So I was over here. I don't know what I did, but I think I bulked up or something. I like boosted my stats or something, and then he nasty plotted, and then Gigantamax, and I was like, oh shit. So I was like, all right, I think I could do it because Gengar is fucking. I was like, obviously they double health, but I was like, his defenses suck. So I used a move. It didn't do shit, and he fucking used something. And it just killed me, and I stopped. I literally stopped, and I was looking at my screen. I was like, I think I might lose here. And then luckily, I threw out something else, and I did damage, and he killed it. And then his Gigantamax went off. I was like, I forgot they can go back after 3 turns. And then I won. And I was like, oh my god, I was so scared. That was the only time I had trouble. It was like I just didn't know he had a Gigantamax form. That's like the only one I didn't see.
So now you got to explain something to me real quick. So the Pokemon that can Gigantamax, now can you Gigantamax by Dynamaxing if they have a Gigantamax form?
No. So you have to go to a raid, and you go.
So it's not only raids either, but you have to get one that is specifically marked as a Gigantamax.
Yeah, it'll have an X on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the Meowth you get from the mystery gift, it can Gigantamax, and that's the only one that can so far.
You can get the Pikachu or Eevee from the guy from
You can get
from
both
the
of
kids.
them.
But yeah, you can get both of them
Yeah.
depending on what game save file you have.
Yeah.
So you can get both of them from the Let's Go guy kids at the Wild Area Station, and they have amazing stats in that. And then other than that, you have to find out through raid battles, and you kind of if you know the Pokemon sprite, if it looks different, but you know it's that Pokemon, then it's Gigantamax.
Yeah, well, they have set dens for each one because they're set by types, and then some Pokemon, of course, have dual types, so you can find them in either or. So like, and then it has to be the purple beam and not the red beam.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on top of that, you can't breed Gigantamax Pokemon like I thought
So
you could.
so Pokemon that have not every Pokemon that has a Gigantamax form can Gigantamax.
You have to get it.
yet.
You have to get it
Not yet.
specifically from a
Okay.
No, I'm gonna say
one,
not.
one that Gigantamax.
I'm gonna say not yet because Snorlax just got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snorlax
Okay.
just got a Gigantamax, so that's what they're gonna be doing. I'm pretty sure they're just gonna be releasing every once in a while. It's time past a new Gigantamax because I found out Toxtricity. It's that like poison electric Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Who looks dope as hell.
Yeah, he has a Gigantamax form. It's not even released, but it's in the game.
Yeah.
Like the coding is, like when you search through it, I think, or if you go, or even on the app we have on our phones that me and Manuel have, it lists it there as a Gigantamax.
Yeah.
But you don't see the.
And
Sprite.
so that's one of the things I was kind of worried about was just like it didn't feel like there were a lot of them because they like showcased all of them. Like every one of the the gym leaders had like one of the Gigantamax, and then like somebody like each of the people in the champion thing sometimes have them.
From the 3rd gen up, they all had Gigantamax.
And then and then I was like I'm like what else is left? And there's like 4 other ones that like you didn't see already. I'm like that seems like a pretty small list because like Megas had like there were hella
like
Megas.
15, 16.
Yeah.
Off the bat. Yeah. So the gym leaders were pretty cool, and then they were some of them were challenging because like you know what, the only one I feel like that was different from the others was Ryan. the guy the dragon dude.
Oh
Yeah, because he actually changed the weather on the battlefield.
Yeah, and he did that because of his rival who has a Gigantamax Charizard, and and that's what, and also his main person was his main Pokemon was Duralagon, which doesn't take damage raises special defense in the Sandstorm, all rock, metal, and all them do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he felt like he was like the gym leader off the ROM hack games where if he said he's like a grass type Pokemon, he uses Pokemon from the forest and whatnot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They have that in some ROM hack games. Like he'll have like bug, poison, grass. You know, he's just not all grass.
Right.
But that's why I kind of felt with him because he had like rock and he had like steel. And he had
honestly,
dragon.
what he felt like a champion.
Yeah.
He felt because like the champion
diverse.
always has like a diverse like 6 freaking Pokemon team of like it's like a starter and then a dragon or 2 and then like the pseudo legendary of that era, whatever, like freaking Tyranitar or whatever, you know, and then just some other big powerhouse like Arcanine, And that's what it felt like battling him. I'm like, bro, what?
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. And then I forget the dark type gym leader was probably like one of my favorite ones. Like
Which one was that?
the guy with the
Marnie's older brother.
Marnie's older brother.
Oh, I forgot he was a
The
gym
singer.
battle, bro.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like
A training
Yeah.
battle.
I was
Yeah,
like-
because they didn't have a Gigantamax cap in their thing.
yeah.
Or Dynamax.
And that was I just really dig that place. That place was tight.
Yeah, it was cool, and the music for the area was fresh
Yeah.
too.
I wish you could actually hear him sing.
Yeah, me too. They should come out with like a YouTube video for it.
She should have a whole album.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to see it in the anime.
And so, and with all the gym leaders, I liked all of them. I didn't hate any of them because there's some gym leaders I'm like.
You were pretty much drooling over Nessa.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Oh, bro, that's my wife.
Yeah, that one's really
God.
over. Yeah.
Bro, she's so cute.
And then,
I was wearing her outfit for a while too.
Oh, jeez.
yeah, Manuel had a girl character, so.
Well, he always does.
Yeah.
So gym leaders was that. So move on from the gym leaders. Let's go on to Hop for me. So Hop was different. A lot of people there's like it's split, just like everything else in this stupid game. A lot of people liked him. A lot of people hated him because a lot of people are like, well, they liked him because unlike past rivals, other than the main ones that Manuel talked about, which is Silver, Gary, and basically Barry, which is basically them.
Barry.
Everyone else is just like that one friendly guy who's like, you know what? I want to do the gym Pokemon League too. Let's go, right? Let's go, freaking, new person who just moved in town, like weirdly.
Well, so except this time you weren't newly into town.
Yeah.
You've already been living there for a while.
So
Yeah.
and then you go against him. He's like, let's have a battle. All right, I lost. I'll get you next time. All right, I lost. I'll get you next time.
And it felt like when you battled him because you had type coverage on him.
Yeah.
And like he would say that every time you got like a type coverage hit, and he would like, wow, of course you understand this. I'm like, don't fucking patronize me.
Yeah. And then, but with Hawk, for me with Hawk, I feel like he's different than all the other ones because he did have like sort of a moment that you don't see often with your rivals. Is that he's like his brother was a champion, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be as good as his brother, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, he's not. Right, he's
Right.
not. His brother didn't even want to endorse him the first time until after you battled with us. He's like, you know what? I'll endorse you, new guy in town. Oh, you're my brother too. You can go. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, you can.
And then, so when you battle him, obviously he's a novice. He's a novice all the way to probably like the end part of the game. But what I liked about him is that he changes Pokemon up, and you don't see that much in most of Rivals unless he switches one or two out. Like you killed Gary's Raticate, and then that Raticate's gone, and then I've used a little switch in Pokemon Evolve and whatnot. Like Beat's team never changed unless the Pokemon evolved.
Mm-hmm.
So like with him, like his starter Pokemon, which I don't know why he got another one, was Wooloo. His starter Pokemon was Wooloo, and then he got whatever Pokemon was opposite of yours. And then halfway through it, every time you freaking battled him, he switched his Wooloo out. Like he put his Wooloo away because he's like, all right, Wooloo's not doing it, right? You can tell. He even tells you when you talk to him, like, oh, I'm changing up my battle style. I'm trying to learn. And then he fights Beat, and that's when like I seen difference in him because. Obviously, he went MIA because I didn't even know he was fucking gone until they're like, where's Hop? And I was like, wasn't he just fucking here? Like, why am I looking for him? And then
when he shows up, he's all depressed.
Yeah, because what Beat said, he was like, dude, you're a disgrace to your family. Like, you're a disgrace to Leon.
That was a little hard.
And then you know what? And I liked it because he was like, you're right. He was like, I'm really bad at it. Well, he didn't say that, but he's acknowledging like I'm not as good as my brother. And I feel like if I go out there and I lose, they're going to be like, oh, dude, this is Leon's brother. Like, Leon can't be that good. But I don't know why they'll think that because he's undefeated right now. But anyways, they'll just make fun of him and not Leon, but it's a kid's thing.
I thought it was not necessarily because of the battle against Bede, but because of the gym battle he lost.
No, because Bede challenged him. I had to go back because I guess I skipped it because I was eager to go on the next part. So he battled Bede. And then he disappeared. And then I only knew he battled Beat because it's one of the options that they said. Because it was like, oh, do you know where he went? And it's like, oh, it's like one or two options. Like, I haven't seen him after he battled Bede. And I was like, he battled Bede? I was like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that's when B told him like, oh yeah, you're so easy, you're weak. Like you're gonna bring disgrace upon your brother. And so he was like having like a life changing moment. And he was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do it no more. You know, I don't want to disgrace my brother. And then, I forgot what happened, but he came back. Obviously.
Nothing happens. He just all of a sudden is like, you know what? I'm done being depressed.
We did,
and I'm like, bro, I wish it was that easy.
I think we did something. Yeah. I think we did something.
Yeah, you kicked his ass again.
No, not even that. Before that, we did something. He's like, you know what? I shouldn't give up because whatever.
Or we kicked Bede's ass.
And then later, and you meet him later, and he's like, oh, you know what? I got a good team now, right? And people say like, I know you said like we beat them every time. We're supposed to, like, obviously. Yeah. When they said in the beginning when Leon was champion, like he's never been defeated, and everyone's like, oh yeah, until he met me, like he's gonna be defeated. Obviously,
I'm gonna defeat him over and over and over.
So then he beats the gym leader, the dragon guy, Ryan or whatever his name is, 3 seconds after we leave there, and then he was like, dude, I just beat his ass. And then Ryan came out like, dude, he just beat my ass. That was crazy. And then...
You know what would be really cool is if in some future iteration of a game, and I know I'm getting a little off base here, but in some future iteration of the game, they actually had either, whether it be gym trainers or just the Pokemon, like the Elite Four or the Pokemon champion himself or herself or whoever it is, actually have like a constantly rotating team. So like whatever you have, they have stuff that can one hit it.
I feel like they did that in the game, but I can't remember.
But I mean, make him like so super strong that you could actually sit there and you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know that they're that strong. Like obviously people would leak it after their first time, but you going into that battle, you would not know he's that strong. You just get your ass wiped, and it's part of the story.
I
make it actually part of the story.
I would like it if they added like a level scaling system to it. So like whenever you go to a gym, they are scaled to the level of your highest level Pokemon. And so you're less tempted to just power grind one guy to just obliterate everything like I did in like...
Oh, I always work on my entire team.
Sapphire. No, in Sapphire, I got Blaziken. I was like, Blaziken's the coolest fucking Pokemon I've ever seen. And I'm like, I'm not going to not use Blaziken. Yeah. I PP'd up all his moves. Like, I was only Blaziken. It was a Blaziken only show. Yeah. Like, I had the whole team of other stuff, but I'm like, you know Surf, you know Fly, you know Rock Smash. This is what we are. And you're going to cheer on my Blaziken. And then he was like level 90 when I got to the Elite Four. And I was just like, Blaze Kick.
Even Blaziken's just powering through the water type Pokemon.
Yes, he did. He faced like
one-shotting him with flamethrower.
Yeah, he like faced like against like a Walrein that was like that had like a billion HP, and I was just like Blaze Kick, and it was like, and it just went as slow as hell, but it was killing him. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they used to do in those games. But so with Hop, with Hop. Like, I feel like he's different than the other ones. Like, obviously, there's like a battle we haven't done yet because I haven't done the post story because I just went in to try and complete the post.
Supposedly he's like super powered up. He's probably gonna be like level 70 or something.
I would say he's kind of underrated because like there's people who are like wanting this rival that we used to have, but I'm pretty sure we're not gonna have it for a while. I think Bede's like probably the closest one we have.
Bede was like that. If we had just merged Bede and Hop together. I would have liked both of them a lot.
Well, so with Bede and Hop, they both had this one-dimensional road where he was like, "Oh, I'm not good, but I'm gonna keep trying." He was like, "Oh, I'm the best, and I gotta complete the thing to complete my gym challenges to be the best, right?" And then they both broke apart. Rather, Bede got his thing taken away from him for him to challenge.
He got his endorsement taken
away, and then he lost to Bede. They both went to this thing, and they both came back. And Bede got trained by Opal to be the gym leader, and then Bede found courage. Hop found courage enough to figure out his team to become a decent person. And then they both had their revelations at the end. We beat him. We beat Bede in the champion thing. But he's like, you know what? Being a champion is not trying to become a new gym leader is going to take a lot of work. But he's like, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, Bede's thing was that he had like this weird complex, and that's what I liked about him. He had like this like father issue with the chairman, And you can tell the chairman, there's the chairman, right? That's
Yeah,
the
the
Chairman Rose. He didn't give a fuck about Bede, honestly. He had like this cheery personality, but you could tell he didn't give a shit about anything that wasn't whatever the fuck his little plot was going on.
Yeah.
He didn't care about his assistant. He didn't care about anybody. But Bede was like, had this thing, like, I guess he's an orphan or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like Chairman Rose found him, endorsed him, and he's like, I'm just trying to do everything I can for this guy who's like took me in or whatever. And then like when that falls flat, he's like, and then he figures out like, oh, that guy doesn't actually care about me. Seeking that goal for his attention, his affection is worthless and meaningless. And then he finds his own meaning in trying to be great. Yeah. And then, but for Hop's deal, it just never made sense to me. Yeah. Where he was like, he was trying to live up to his brother, and then he realized he couldn't, and then he never found something worthwhile. Like he didn't become good in his own way. Really, like it kind of tries to tell you he did. He's like, but it doesn't show you. It doesn't give you anything to actually see it happen. He just tells you that. Oh, I'm good now.
Have any of us played that final battle with Hop yet?
No.
Okay, so we don't know what kind of story.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. If it's cool. Past the champion, it doesn't matter.
I think something that would have validated that is maybe if they offered him to become like a minor league gym. Because if you remember, there's minor leagues and major league gyms. The minor leagues are the ones that have to earn points to come back to become a major gym. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's probably what could have happened to him. Maybe like, oh, you know what? We see improvement in you. You can't. You lost being champion, obviously. Like you lost in the tournament. He's like, but we see something in you. What about you be a minor league and work your way up to be a major league to be a gym leader? I feel like that would have been kind of different for him. Something to see that, oh, we see improvement.
I wanted us to at least see a battle where he like beats his brother or like almost beats his brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have probably or come close to it, and his brother's like, oh, you thought you had me, psych.
Yeah,
but it's all with all that about. So I'm gonna go with something that Manuel brought up that kind of was Chairman Rose. So Chairman Rose in The Darkest Day. So basically, it's more of a time repeat itself kind of thing. So it was like before The Darkest Day, there was like regular like castles and peasants and whatnot. Right?
It was almost like a whole revisiting of the legendary story from X and Y, if you think about it.
Obviously, you know why? Because they're close to each other.
Right.
Remember? So Paris and whatever is next to whatever and that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that.
Kalos and
Kalos and Galar are right next to each other. So, so The Darkest Day, there was nothing, and then all of a sudden there was The Darkest Day, which is Eternatus, was just his aura or whatever he has around him. He could just make Pokemon become big. And then the Legends came, they beat him, and then they sealed him away, right? Mm-hmm. So now in Galar, we have everything normal now, and then they put caps everywhere so they could use the Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing for their, publicity and do their gym battles and make this whole little thing a little bit more exciting. And then we get Chairman Rose, and he's just like, dude, like, we in 1,000 years or something, we're not going to
the whole incident was going to happen again.
No, not even that. It's that in 1,000 years that we're going to run out of power, and we need to find something to get some power ready for 1,000 years. And the wishing star, I didn't know what a wishing star was. I missed the part where in the beginning the wishing star fell from the sky. Mm-hmm. You got it. I didn't see that part. So when I seen wishing, because I played it when it got out and I was hecka tired. So when he's talking about wishing stars, I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about until halfway through it. But so the wishing stars or what helps you Gigantamax, Dynamax, just like it's a Z crystal or like a Mega Ring or whatever. Shit. Yeah, so and he's like, all right, we got the wishing stars is what gives us energy. We got to keep finding wishing stars, and we got to use it to get energy to do it. And that's what Bede's job was. And then you find out later, like I kind of knew it was rather Chairman Rose, it was Leon, or it was his assistant that was bad. I was going back between those three every time. I'll be like, one time I'll be like, okay, it's Leon. Okay, it's Chairman Rose. Okay, it's the girl.
Yeah, because Leon kind of seemed too stupid sometimes.
No,
I'm like, there's a deception here. He's not actually this stupid. He's not actually like this fucking like thick-headed.
Yeah, what I felt like is like, because it was always odd to me where when something fucking crazy happened,
he always told you just not to worry about it.
Yeah, he'll not to worry about it. I'll take care of it. So I was thinking, so is he faking this? I was like, is he doing this on purpose to make him look good and be undefeated? just to be this popular dude.
Yeah.
Well,
Because I was like, because then I was thinking about, I was like, okay, so if Beat is bad, and he's like, I want to be as good as my brother, right? I was like, okay, that makes sense, because maybe Leon's not good, but he wants to be this popular, gym leader, and he's faking this stuff, and he's rigging this stuff to go off, and he's, it's like all rigged.
Like fucking Mysterio and
Yeah, so
Spider-Man.
I thought it was like that, but then Chairman Rose was just like, and then when Bede broke the wall to get the wishes, and Chairman Rose was like, I can't believe you did this, I just felt something odd about that part, and I was like, okay, maybe Chairman Rose rigged this to happen because that was his copper jaw. I was like, how would he get his elephant thing if it, you didn't just steal it? And then the girl made me question things because she was just like, so she knew more than Chairman Rose. I felt like at times, like she's like, oh yeah, Chairman Rose, you got to do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, can't do that. Like I felt, and then I was like, okay, maybe Rose is the puppet and she's doing all this. So and then you find out that it was Chairman Rose and Leon was in on it, but Chairman Rose had Eternatus as a fucking battery to power up all this stuff, and he was like, I need more power from it, but I can't get more power from it because it's locked away in its container. And he was like, we gotta, and then he wanted to reveal what he wanted to do. He wanted to bring the darkest day again. For that power, he could just, I don't know, vacuum it up for some fucking reason. I don't know how he expected to do it. And then Leon is like, dude, like, let's do that later. Let's just have a battle. Let's just finish our tournament, and let's just go with it. And then that's when right when they're about to battle, he comes on the screen. He's like, sorry guys, I had to do this. I'm releasing Eternatus. Let's go. Wait a minute. I can't control it. Why? Because it's a freaking legendary. So, and then it goes Godzilla on everybody. And I'm just like, okay, so, and then you battle him. And then it's just like, you battle Chairman Rose. You finally, oh my god, in the beginning part, finding those hitting guys everywhere, it just annoyed me. When you had to find the guy who, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It wasn't that hard.
No, it wasn't that hard.
It was just tedious.
It was tedious.
Like, it would cutscene, he would run away, and you're like, alright, let me walk in that fucking direction.
Yeah.
Oh, there's two of them here. Let me talk to both of them.
It was tedious, and I feel like they didn't need to have that.
It was so padded.
Yeah.
And, like, that whole end part, like, that was part of the thing where I felt like they were just adding in
stuff to make it longer.
Stuff that was like, oh, like, this is normally what happens at the end of the game. Because when you go to when you're going up the tower, you're just in a fucking elevator.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, here's a battle. Here's a battle. Here's a battle. Where in, like, every other, like, evil fucking layer, it's like, oh, there's the teleporting pads in Giovanni's place.
Yeah.
There's the the fucking the other thing, the weird
power switches in the freaking ship in black and white too.
Yeah, and
turn
just
off and on.
just all that stuff. Like, I was like, can I feel like I'm actually doing something? Like,
yeah, other than just standing in one spot.
And like they just come at me.
Yeah.
And then Hop heals you every battle. And I'm like, oh, I had my own healing items, but whatever, it doesn't fucking matter, I guess.
And then when you get Chairman Rose, he has this like epic fucking theme song. I don't know if you guys heard it, but he has this epic fucking theme song, which I think is wasted on him. And then you beat him, and then he's like, wow, you reminded me what it feels like to be a Pokemon trainer again. Thank you. And then it ends, I'm like, thank you? Did you see what you just did? You see these? Like, what is a thank you gonna do? For this? Like, thank you, and then me forgiving you for what you did is not gonna help. Like, so I'm like, it was just like, Chairman Rose was like, I don't know. I feel like maybe he should have pulled like what's his name, Cyrus from Platinum, and just got fucking taken away by Eternatus or like killed or something.
Honestly, yes, because he wasn't even likable.
Because like think about what he wasn't really likable, but think about what he did. He had a legendary Pokemon using him as a battery, and then he releases him, and that Pokemon's not gonna go for him first.
Yep.
Like, I would have went for him first.
He would have ate that boy. It would have been that scene from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, or the claw, and he would have just fucking grabbed him and just fucking threw him across the world.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, no.
Remember, this is a kid's game.
Yeah, but and then his whole motivation just felt like, because like when you told me the first time, and you were like, I must have missed something, and I was like paying very close attention when I was playing. I was like, there's nothing to miss. It really is just that. Like, there's no like leading up to it. It's not like when you go to a town, it's like, oh, our power's gone or something, like, because I don't know, we don't know why.
he was a businessman who knew what to do to make make money off of it, and I feel like he wasn't even worried about the world being out of power 1,000 years. I think he was more worried about like, oh shit, in 1,000 years I don't know how I'm gonna fucking power all this shit for me to get my money and get this all
I'm
thing.
like, you're gonna be fucking dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. I really. It
was more of a time repeats itself in my eyes.
It makes no sense. I mean, it could have been. If they could have just did something like that, where they like when as you learn about the legend, you're like, oh yeah, somebody thought that they could control Eternatus and use him for good or whatever, but then they're like, but he's a fucking god, and you just can't control a god. Yeah. And then the darkest day happened and something, but like none of that happens. There's like, there's a hero. There's a
thou
sword
shalt
and a
not
shield.
have any other gods before Arceus.
And then there's a sword and a shield. There's a guy with a sword and a shield. There's two guys with a sword and a shield. There's two guys with Pokemon with a sword and a shield. Yeah. And that's all you're learning is it's shit you already knew because you could see the fucking cover of the game.
Yeah.
And
then like when I say it's like I feel like it's time repeating itself because at first it was okay. Then the darkest day came. And then the legends came. And then it was normal. And millions of years later, right? And then it was normal. And then we come. And then, the darkest day is coming. And then we have to battle it again. The two legends come back. We fight the legend. Everything's normal. So it was more of a time repeats itself to me. Like, that's why I get what this world, like, it is. It's like 1,000 years ago, this happened. It's going to happen again.
It was a bad foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really fucking obvious what was going to happen. Like, there wasn't any turn at all. You're just like, you heard about the darkest day, and you're like, oh, that's going to happen.
Yep, that's going to happen.
You're fucking ready for it. It's happening. Yeah. And you're like, you don't really know what it is. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the stakes are. There's like, the stakes are Pokemon are being giant random, but you don't even see that. You don't see a Gigantamax Pokemon anywhere.
Now, if they made it more, even in a cutscene, if they just showed like Pokemon popping up, because they said the Pokemon are popping up and they gave like explosions for it, or if they showed a cutscene like with giant Pokemon walking around breaking buildings and shit, and seeing actual damage from it, because we really don't see.
You know what I would have liked to see?
Well, the cities are too small for you.
No. So what you would do is like you end up in like the start of the wild area because you just came back from trying to find the shield Pokemon. And so you took the train. You can't take your Corviknight now because Gigantamax Pokemon are fucking swatting them out of the sky. You're at the start of the wild area, and you have to get through the wild area through all these Gigantamax Pokemon fucking walking around.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fucking shit. Like, that would have been cool because then you see the stakes, you know what's at stake, you have something difficult to go through, and you gotta do all these Gigantamax battles. I'm like, sure, they're gonna fucking heal you afterwards or whatever, but it's still like a difficulty setting, like something you have to work through.
Cool. I didn't think of that. And then and then you could try to go around them, but like they could just like.
But they fucking run faster than the regular Slates ones.
Yeah,
they like turn around, they're like,
that would have been cool. And then on top of that, like they could have just like showed them like breaking some because like one of them happened in the town.
Yeah.
And they could have showed like some breakdown because you can't say they can't do that because in Black and White 2 they had a ship shoot ice at the whole city and the whole the town became frozen in ice and you had to like literally go around different areas and do all that. Like they could have did something unique like that. And that's not like a major thing because like obviously I came in the game thinking like okay the story's gonna be okay, like it's gonna be normal. I'm not gonna be like oh crap they got me. You know what I mean? Like, it's Mr. Jenkins from down the street this whole time. Like, I knew that it was going to be okay. Like, it was, and so I knew, so I'm just, like, telling you, like, okay, like, this is, like, kind of, like, out of the way for this. But they should have, did that, what Manuel said, because I never thought about that. And bring more calls to the wild area other than just being going through it.
Because it felt like the wild area and the story were really disconnected.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like the wild area was, like, it's just the multiplayer aspect. Like, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know you're going to play it. We made it available right from the start. Whatever. It doesn't really fucking matter. Go. There's the fucking wild area. Go wild. Go ham.
Yeah. So, and then and then after all that, you do whatever. And you beat it. And then you actually go to the tournament. And you actually get to fight Leon. I really liked when Leon lost because, like, usually when you beat a champion, they're just like, their image is just this. They're shrugging like, hey, I lost,
Oops.
Yeah, but what I liked is when you beat him, like, he was upset, obviously, because you and your Pokemon are cheering like, yeah, gang, we fucking beat you, and then the camera pans towards, like, Leon, and he's like this, like he's crying, like he covers his face, and he smiles and he throws his hats up and he's like this. He was like, "I am no longer your champion." You know, like it was kind of hype for me. He was like, "The new champion is here," and you know, like, and it's this guy who just got here like 2 days ago.
My third day out here. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like,
Bro, that was for me. I beat it on like day 3. I was sitting at the fucking champion thing like for hella long. I was still doing raids, and I was like, and then I tried to do one with Ted, and I was like, I couldn't get in, and it was like, oh, maybe I need to be the fucking champion to do like the really fucking high level raids. I was like, let me try real quick. In 10 minutes, I did it, and I was like, all right, I'm back.
Like, I'm back.
All right, I'm back. Let's go.
Yeah, but I really liked it, and I liked after 2. It's like, all right, so what the champion always has to do something after the battle, right? So he actually took the tower that Rose had, and he made it into the battle tower. And the reason why he did it is because he remembered. Because if I remember correctly, if I read the card right or I read this right, he went to the battle tower after he lost the champion role because he wanted to reach out and teach kids how to become better Pokemon trainers so they could become champion in the future. Because the town he lived in was like kind of like not a poor town, you know, but it was like a simple town, you know. And not a lot of people have access to this, so basically to teach the kids and become better Pokemon. So I thought that was pretty cool that he went to the battle tower. But yeah, the story was okay. Like there was some things like Josh said, it was like probably like the stepping stones of what can be later.
Yeah, like I said, it was just. This was basically their true test bed.
Yeah.
You know, their prototype. You know, so next
Pokemon
they're
Gun's
gonna
have it down.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's fucking Pokemon Gun.
It's not gonna happen.
I guarantee
you. It's gonna be Pokemon Catapult.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Catapult or Cannon or something, but it's gonna be fucking Pokemon Gun.
No, we're finally gonna get Pokemon Z.
Yeah, there we go.
From what I heard from people who know somebody from, because there's this YouTuber, I watch, and inside sources told him that there was a Galarian Darumaka and Darmanitan. He's been saying that for before the game, when the game first got announced. He was just like, oh, wait till you see Galarian Darumaka and Darmanitan, right? So when the leaks came out and they were actually in there, he was like, it's finally time. You can see it for yourself. And he said recently that someone asked him on stream that, do you think there'll be DLC from this game? And he says Insider said there will be DLC for this game.
Oh yeah. So most likely what we'll get is like what we got with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, is an extra story added on to the end, or we'll get 2 or 3 stories. They're gonna charge us at some point.
Yeah.
You know, we might get the first DLC free.
And we still have those Pokemon that haven't been added in yet.
Right, and that'll probably come in at least one of the DLCs, if not over multiple.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think the Pokemon are gonna be a free.
Yeah, I think it's
right, but But they may not all get added in during just one DLC. It might not. You know, the first DLC might not hit, or might hit, and then we don't get all of them at once. We might get like 10 of them.
I think,
and then the next DLC we get 10 more.
I think they will add because I don't think they're gonna add I think these are the only ones they're gonna add, honestly. Because I don't think they're gonna add, because then everyone will be like, if you can add them in and you can add these other ones, you can add all of them in. I feel like they're adding them in because that was my thing I told you guys before. I was like, competitive is completely different now that all these threats are gone. And then they thought, oh crap, you know what? We did get rid of some.
Well, from what I can tell, the reason that most of the Pokemon aren't in was just a time constraint. Like, it actually was.
Yeah.
And so, and with the way that they're doing things now, I feel like they will just add these Pokemon in. Because they've never shown, like, a particular care or interest in catering towards competitive people, completely. So I feel like, especially with the introduction of Pokemon Home and everything, like, as soon as they get these, like, Pokemon actually programmed in, like, you can have them in the game.
Yeah, I hope it's easier to do it, too.
Because that's, like, there's, like, half the fucking Pokédex that you can't have in this game right now.
Yeah, because when Home comes out, I hope you can just, like, click and drag and then put transfer and be like, oh, these Pokemon can't go. Is that okay with you? Like, yeah, fuck, keep them. And then, because I don't want to have to go and pick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to go through all my shit because all my boxes are full of, like, level 100 Pokemon I could breed with. I don't want to have to fucking pick them out. It's okay, just give me all the ones that can go and put him in the fucking home. But yeah, the rating is great. The rating is fun. Obviously, there's gonna be like new Pokemon coming out with Gigantamax forms, and it's fun. Like Manuel, Michael, my cousin, we stayed up pretty late. Probably like didn't we?
Yeah, it was like 1 in the morning at least.
1 in the morning. Yeah, we rated everything. Like we look around for all of our stuff, and it's pretty fun. I haven't battled yet. Hopefully, get to battle soon. I haven't even made a comp team yet. I'm just been.
I haven't made a comp team because I haven't made a comp team in like fucking years. My last comp team was in Diamond and Pearl. Yeah. I had never played comp besides then. Yeah. I was a part of the fucking like the IRC chat and everything. Like I had a team. I had a gym leader team. I had a team. I was a fighting gym. And I had fucking Lucario. Lucario was my favorite new Pokemon. I was like, fuck yeah, Lucario kicks ass because he did. He kicked so much ass. He learned like Dragon Pulse and fucking of course Aura Sphere. He could learn fucking like Psychic or some shit. And I was like, yeah, with a special attack of fucking Infinity, he's gonna destroy everything.
Infinity. Yeah, but like the rating is fun. What else is there? The rating is fun. Like I have fun with it. Like sometimes, like I do the easy ones first, and then like looking for Gigantamax Pokemon was fun. Like it still is, but it's just like unless you play like if all three of us played and we all went looking for ours. Like I know Josh has exclusives and I have exclusives, and then we get the ones we want. Because other than that, you're rather doing it by yourself, or you're using the little system they have, the Wycom system, and you're refreshing, and these random people are popping up, and you try to click their thing, and it's rather locked with the code, or they cancel it, or it's full.
Well, the reason it's so hard to join is that people are doing the cheat, which like that's what the people have been saying. Like, but when you do the cheat, you have to be local. You can't be online.
Yeah, you can't be online
because you have to change the date on your
Yeah, I tried it. I didn't really like it.
It's tedious. I spent like 4 hours doing it to try and get something. I was like, this wasn't fucking worth it. I could have just been doing literally anything else.
Yeah.
So I just have a bunch of fucking watts.
Yeah. So other than that, but like, yeah, I love all the Pokemon. The Galarian Pokemon are cool. I love them. You know, I really don't have anything to say about the Pokemon at all. You know what? Actually, I do. It's not negative though. Like, I showed Manuel this, and Manuel didn't believe me until I showed him on my Pokedex app. All these Pokemon are broken. Like, their stats are, like, crazy for no fucking reason. Like, all of them. And you know what? I showed Manuel fucking Cramorant, the one Pokemon. He said, how can you look at that Pokemon and believe in a god? It's the freaking pelican bird
that
Pokemon.
Eats fucking Pikachus.
That eats Pikachus and the fish. And his stats, like, there's not a bad stat on him other than his speed. And that makes sense. Because if he was fast, then this thing would have broken. And it's so unique because now with the Pokemon stats-wise, depending on typing and if it can be defensive, you can make a lot of defensive Pokemon now that, by looking at it, shouldn't be defensive. Like, Wooloo is obviously has the ability Fluffy, which has physical damage already. And then he already has a massive defense already. So that's cool. That squirrel thing, the Greedent, the fat Greedent, that thing's super defensive for no fucking reason. And then, like, so all these Pokemon are super broken, and there's only one Pokemon I've seen that has, like, only 2 stats that are broken, and that's the Barracuda Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And that's his attack and his speed are just, like, just, boop, that's it. Everything else, he's a glass cannon. That makes sense, though. But it's like, all the Pokemon, and they did that way because, you know, all of them are, it's to make up that all of the other Pokemon aren't in it, you know? So that way you could really have one Pokemon, but you can have multiple of them in any way you want it to go.
Yeah.
Defense, attack, defense, or speed, whatever. And I think that's pretty cool that they did that. That way you can have fun with all of them, and there won't be just dumb Pokemon. A cool-looking Pokemon that has stats that you can't even use.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Like,
I do appreciate that they put everything on a level because there's a lot of Pokemon that just fucking sucked for no reason. And
Chimecho.
They just took up space. I was like, what's the fucking point of this? Even in like the regular game, it's like he fucking sucks. He's useless. Like, maybe he's a cool typing, but whatever. I was like, no, he doesn't learn any good moves. Uh-huh. He's not very strong.
There's a lot of Pokemon.
He fucking sucks. And I'm like, but now, like, everything is viable. Even, like, for, like, not like super competitive, but, like,
Yeah.
But at least like to play
Have
with it,
fun.
to like take it into the battle tower or to do the gym challenge with them or what the fuck ever.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the Pokemon that we haven't gotten yet, or the Pokemon that did make the Pokedex, they all have new moves to learn as well. Like they have new moves to learn as well, and they have like moves that. So Pokemon that you get in events that have moves like Pikachu and Extreme Speed, they can normally learn that now through level up,
Right.
or reteaching. And there's also stuff like when Blastoise and Venusaur come, there's two moves that they can learn normally or through reteach that you couldn't get unless it was from a special event. Which I thought was finally you can do that. Like I don't know why you couldn't, but yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool too that they're teaching them all these new moves and stuff like that, or moves that they should have been knowing. So hats off to them with that. But the Pokedex is pretty clean for what I like. A lot of them I like more typings. I like the new typings they have. They have with some new Pokemon like Poison, Electric, and even with some of the Pokemon that are like just mono typing with just one typing, they're pretty cool too. Like I didn't know Eldegoss. Is that it? Which one?
The big head one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Eldegoss.
Eldegoss has Regenerator and it's defensive. So I'm like, oh, okay. So if you don't know what Regenerator is when I switch it out of battle, as long as I have it in my party, it regains health. So that's pretty cool. I'm like, okay, well at least it's not completely useless, you know? Like you can get health back and it can be really defensive. But yeah, but we didn't talk about Marnie. Marnie's cool.
Oh, Marty, yeah, as like a pseudo rival.
Yeah.
She was really cool because she's like, first of all, she's cute. Second of all, that's it. But seriously, because she had her own little motivations, and she was like really not open about what it is, and you don't get to know like exactly what her deal is until you get to the end, and like I'm pretty sure you just like realize more things like, oh yeah, not only do I have this team of people who are like berating people and like attacking people on my behalf, like, and I don't want them to, but like also they work for my brother, and like my brother's a gym leader, and just like there's just a lot going on with her, like a lot more than honestly what was going on with Hop.
Yeah. I felt like if they had focused more on her, she would have been a far better rival for you.
Yeah.
But so, is there anything else? Because we're kind of running a little long.
I can tell. I don't even know. Don't even tell me the time. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I wanted to talk about.
I mean, I knew this was gonna take a little bit because there was a lot to talk about.
There was so much before the game came out.
Yeah,
there was a lot of talk.
I mean, we've discussed the controversy that was coming out about this. You even did a whole nerd nonsense on it, like right before the game came out.
Mm-hmm.
All the negativity that the game was receiving. And one thing that really kind of upset me as I was going through the game was, especially in the early days, like the first week of the game, you know, people were nitpicking the shit out of the game. Mm-hmm. Just to try and prove that they were right all along. What they were nitpicking at didn't ultimately matter in the first place.
Yeah, because what I'm gonna say is like if you just like Pokemon, if playing Pokemon is fun for you, and that's just the base of it, then you'll play this game. You'll like it. But like if you're expecting more from Pokemon, like you want like very specific things from it, this is not for you. It was very casual. It was like it still felt like playing Pokemon did.
Yeah.
But like a lot of things were easier. There wasn't like a ton of challenge to everything. The characters weren't like super thought out, but like they still look cool. The Pokemon designs are still sort of interesting. Like they don't feel like lifeless in any way. They feel interesting. Like it looks good. It plays well. Just as a core game, but I absolutely can't understand the people who wanted more. Because that's constantly where I am from a lot of things. Of course,
I can understand that.
The thing, because I know most people were upset about about all the Pokemon being in there, and that it kind of is like a good like I don't know, like a metaphor for whatever from what we're getting.
Yeah.
Is that I kind of feel like this is.
I mean,
70 to 80% of a full Pokemon game.
Yeah, I was one of the ones that was really kind of worried, whether when we found out that we weren't going to be getting all of the Pokemon,
Yeah.
I was one of the ones that was worried that that might be detrimental to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I voiced my opinion. I thought, with the advancements in technology, why can't you have all the Pokemon in there? And you mentioned they were operating under a bit of a time constraint because you've got the Switch. The only thing we really had up to this point for Pokemon was Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and that really didn't give us a whole lot.
Because it was just it was like another remake game, and it wasn't even a remake that people wanted.
Right.
It was like, oh, it's another Gen 1. Like, oh, who the fuck wants that?
So, I mean, but I was pleasantly surprised that not having all of the Pokemon in the game, by the time I was on my way to the first gym, I was like, yeah, I don't really care. Yeah, sure, there are some Pokemon that I miss, I would like to have in the game, but overall, once you start playing, it was, you kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, because the thing I'll compare it to is that, like, if you've played like the games as they came out, and you like kind of grown accustomed to certain Pokemon, if you go back and like play because I was just going back to play like regular Emerald, and I was like, oh, this one's not in. Fairy types aren't here yet. This and this and this, and I was thinking about all the things that aren't in here. I'm like, but I still like Pokemon Emerald. I still like it. It's still a good game.
Oh yeah.
And so that's just what it is. Like there's things that aren't there for whatever reason, and like you can still find something to enjoy. But I also do understand there are a lot of issues with this game. It's not perfect. It's pretty far from perfect. Like I said, it feels like 80% about what I expect from my Pokemon game, but that's still like on a scale from just like games as a whole, that's still pretty good. That is, I would say if I wasn't rating as just a Pokemon game, if it was just a regular game, I'm like, this is still pretty good. This is like a B plus at least. I'm like, this is still worth time. If you like Pokemon, like it's worth the $60 right now. It's not one of those games where I'm like, no, wait for it to be on sale. I'm like, no, if you like Pokemon, go ahead and shell it $60. Like, there's a lot to do here.
It's definitely worth the price.
Because there's multiplayer stuff. Like doing raids with people is fun.
I mean, look at me and Ted. We both bought both of the games.
Yeah.
I gave you my copy of Shield so you could have one right away. But we both felt it was, and I felt it was completely worth it. Even though I don't have both the games right now, and I'm probably going to end up spending another $60 at some point to get another copy of Shield just so I can have it.
Yeah.
It was worth it. It was definitely when the game ended. Even though I haven't done the last battle with Hop, I haven't caught the legendary yet. I still feel satisfied with the ending. I still feel satisfied with the game as a whole. Nothing was really bad. The whole, a lot of people were worried about the 3 starters being single typing.
Yeah.
Didn't take away from the game. I was completely fine with it. I loved some of the new moves that they added in.
Yeah, their hidden abilities are kind of good for starters. I think they're probably the best in a while.
I think that's what kind of beefed them up and made them competitive with dual typings.
I hope that's some design space they play around with some more, because they didn't rely on wholly like being a type advantage over something. It's like, no, you have Sobble, who eventually was like a crit powerhouse. Mm-hmm. If they get crits, they go off. They do hella damage. Mm-hmm. And so like it's not like 100% foolproof, but you're like, okay, if I can get a crit to happen, I got it. Yeah. And then like
Surfetched was kind of the same way. It was, but it had the leak that gave it the higher chance of hitting a critical hit. So it's like.
And then Squirt Bunny just being just the fastest motherfucker alive.
Oh yeah, the speed was insane. Plus once it learns Flame Charge, you can sit there and rage its speed every time you use Flame Charge.
Exactly. So it's just gonna keep going. That's just hope. I hope they play around with that more, because like dual typing has like been interesting or whatever. But I also want to see like abilities that do more things.
Yeah. So one real quick question I had. Was the Galarian Farfetch'd, was that the only one with a special evolution need?
No, there's a bunch
There's
of other
hella.
ones. There's hella.
Okay, because that's the only one I know of so far.
Yeah.
There's the
Mask needs something.
yeah,
too.
the Runegigas. You have to do something crazy.
But I mean, is that exclusive to Sword and Shield, or has he always been like that?
No, Sword and Shield.
Okay.
This is the first time Pokemon needed that for a while.
Okay.
Unless
Because-
learning ancient power.
Obviously, Galarian Farfetch, you had to land, what was it?
Three crits in the same.
Three crits in a single battle
Yeah.
in order to get him to evolve into Surfetch.
These are probably honestly like the hardest and weirdest ones. Like I'm pretty sure there's somebody that's figured out a way to do it hella easy now. But like when you just look at it, you're like 3 crits. Like how the fuck they're gonna be dead? Whatever.
Well,
the fuck
he has a leak.
Yeah, but
on him
crits.
But
crits
no, I
usually
get.
kill. And you're like, how the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to battle at level 80 and just
You pretty
hope
much
he
you
doesn't
have to
die?
you have to battle. But the good thing is though, one thing that I found out because I landed on the Pokemon that I fought in order to try and get him to evolve. Landed 2 crits, then my Farfetch got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
But I revived it, brought it back in, landed the 3rd crit, and he still evolved. So
Okay.
it was good to know that worked, because I wasn't sure if it was going to. I was going to be like, damn, I'm going to have to do this again.
Yeah, and just little stuff like that. There's still like a lot to do. Like if you like, I know Ted's really into like making comp teams and stuff, and I know he's been just going out and fucking breeding. I have friends.
Oh, he's just been breeding perfect IVs ever since he beat the game.
Yeah, and I have friends who are who are shiny hunting.
I almost
and
have the
everything.
new Pokedex done.
He was telling me how he just something he hatched that was shiny and perfect IVs today.
No, I got a shiny Axew, 521 eggs, dude. Shout out to me. Have fun.
So now he'll have an all black shiny perfect IV Haxorus.
Yeah. And then I was mad because I was like, fuck, dude, it's his abilities rivalry. That fucking sucked. And they changed rivalry too. First it was like if it's the same gender Pokemon, it does more damage. Now, if it's the same gender Pokemon, it does more damage.
Oh.
But if it goes against the opposite gender, you do less damage.
Oh, so the less damage was never in there before.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's even more stupid. Then I'm like, oh, Ted, you're a fucking genius. Was the ability capsule, and you have to do the battle tower to get BP to get the ability capsule to switch it, his ability.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, thank God.
Can you get his hidden ability using the ability capsule or?
No, actually, I don't know about that. I don't even know what his hidden ability. If it's not Mold Breaker, then I don't.
Buy like 10 ability capsules.
Well, I'm gonna ability capsule everything because if I'm shiny hunting and I don't get what I want, then I'm gonna be upset.
I'm pretty sure the only. Well, I mean, eventually I'll probably start working towards a competitive team myself. But what I'm looking for right now is doing a shiny perfect IV Poniard.
Oh yeah.
Because
to get the Bisharp or whatever.
the blue Bisharp looks badass.
I'm trying to get a perfect shiny Mimikyu. I'm trying to get a perfect IV
Mimikyu still
Mimikyu.
scares
Oh, I
me.
gotta trade you it. Oh, we don't have online. Fuck.
Not yet.
No, you
I
did.
do.
Oh, yeah, you do. I don't have online.
You can trade through
Local, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We did it the other day, or we did it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay, that's right.
But okay, so anything else?
Yeah, bro. I don't know until they release something new, because I know stuff is coming. Like there's
Yeah.
a new patch of Pokemon coming out. We're getting new Gigantamaxes. So until we get like some big news, like I'm pretty sure we've talked about enough about this fucking game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people are gonna get tired of hearing from us about this after this.
Yeah, especially when I sound like this.
Yeah. Any last words, Ted?
No, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too.
They sold 6 million copies the first week. You crybabies. You still bought the stupid game.
Yeah.
So,
I
joke's
mean,
on you.
Some of them just to tear it apart.
So it's the fastest selling Pokemon game that there was that they have since forever.
Hey, it's just like all of the Thursday showings across the U.S. for Rise of Skywalker, regardless of how badly it was reviewed by people across the world, or Last Jedi was reviewed, sold out within like the first week.
Yeah, but it's because even if people are like talking bad about this game,
name.
no, it's not the franchise name. It's that the fact there was a controversy, people are being loud about it. Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether
it's
they're
bringing
saying
more attention to it.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if they're saying bad things like, I heard about this thing. I want to have an opinion on it, so I obviously got to go buy it and play it, and then I can talk shit.
Yeah, which is pretty much the premise of this show. No,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
kidding.
pretty much what I do.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you do. Is
Yeah,
just
I know.
talk shit about Star Wars all day long.
Oh fuck no! We watch.
Let's not open that can of worms right now.
Yeah, let's save that. Prepare for that one.
So I think that's about all we have to discuss about this for now. Like Manuel said, until they drop some DLC or further stuff on us, probably not much more to say.
Drop your friend codes. I need you raid. I need more people to raid with.
Yeah, we all three of us enjoyed the game. There were some things we really liked, some things we didn't like so much. Hopefully, the next set of games is even bigger, better, and far more. Not necessarily fan servicey, but
I'm just hoping for
maybe a little more complex
More-
than what we got this time.
more substance.
Yeah, there you go.
Just more substance.
Yeah.
And to anybody who's like I'm pretty sure most people, if they wanted to buy this game, they bought it. But like, if you're on the fence, if you feel bad about wanting to buy Pokemon, just go for it. Just do it. Like, if you think you will enjoy it, you're gonna fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna be like super let down.
So if you have played the game already, what do you think? What's your opinions? Do you like Hop? Do you not like Hop? Do you like the game overall? Let us know in the comments. And of course, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I guess until the next one, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye bye.
Adios.